Welcome to the Unreal Rule Sports Podcast, your number one stop shop for all sports and media. I'm your host Weavy, and I just want to give my thanks to everybody that's subscribing. We finally reached 75 subscribers. Our goal is to get 75 before the football season, and we still got several months until then. So I just want to give my thanks out to y'all. We appreciate everything y'all doing, and I'm going to be covering mostly NFL and mostly the Cowboys. And Damon, he's special at college and the OU Sooner. So let's get this thing rolling. I'm going to be going over 3 topics today. First, we're going to discuss Mike McCarthy and his potential firing after this season. Then we're going to go into CeeDee Lamb's contract. And then we're going to talk about Dak Prescott and what we should do with his contract situation. Now, first, I want to start off with Mike McCarthy's 2020 season, the COVID year. We went in 2-2, and then we played the Giants week 5, I believe. And that's when we seen the catastrophic injury to Dak Prescott's ankle. And that season was just not a good start for Mike McCarthy. You got to have sympathy for him for that season. He went in and started like 2 to 3 different quarterbacks. And that was just a bad year. But coming out of that year and going into the 2021 draft, that's the only way we were able to get one of the best defensive players in the league, and Micah Parsons. So it was a blessing in disguise, you know. It was a reason why Dak Prescott got hurt. We knew we weren't going to make the playoffs that year. The defense was horrendous, as y'all have seen. And we just couldn't get nothing going on offense as far as the quarterbacks. No consistent starter. Now let's talk about the 3 12-5 seasons. The year 2021, we did get Micah Parsons. We went 12-5, and we had a home game. We had a home game that year, and it was unfortunately against the 49ers. And y'all see how that went. I think it was 12-19 the final score. We lost by 7. The defense gave up over 200 rushing yards. Dak Prescott threw 1 touchdown, 1 interception. I think he barely threw over 200 yards. And as an offense, we just didn't click. We gave up dumb penalties. And that's why I want to get on Mike McCarthy about that. This team is not prepared. We're not disciplined. Every playoff game with Mike McCarthy, you see the dumb penalties that we have. You see the lack of preparation. These guys are not going there motivated. Yeah, you see the pregame speeches. But as soon as that whistle blows, it's a whole different ball game. So now we're going to talk about the 2022 season. With when we beat the Buccaneers, that first game of the playoffs, and then we run into the 49ers and get manhandled. Now, that first game, great game plan. The guys came in, they came prepared, and they looked like they was ready to go. We looked like we could have went to the Super Bowl that year, or at least the NFC Championship. But that was cut short when we ran into the 49ers again. I believe your defense gave up another 200 yards on the ground. And that's not called for. Dan Quinn, he ran nickel. We went smaller. I mean, that's just the type of defensive coordinator he turned himself into. And with him being our defensive coordinator, we ran nickel or dime 60% of the time. Like we've never heard of nothing like that. Teams don't even make 20% running dime. You know what I'm saying? So teams was looking at the same defense that they have all season. We couldn't get pressure on the quarterback whatsoever. And, of course, we just got ran through again. We got ramhandled. Now, going into the 2023 season, which was last year, we went 12-5 again. We just showed that we can beat on bad teams. And when it comes to the good teams, like Miami, where the games is close, we can't find a way to beat them. Either the defense doesn't hold up or the offense doesn't. And I think that's a coaching issue. You know, you go coaches, then players. Of course, the coaches can't make the players make this tackle, catch the ball, go here. But that's lack of preparation. These players has not been prepared since the 90s, matter of fact. I'm going to go and take it back to the Troy Aikman days because that's the last time we won. That's when the Cowboys was actually all in. The same when Jerry Jones said he's all in. I don't see how. You didn't do anything offseason, yet you went to go get Eric Kendricks and a few pieces, a few veterans, but that's not enough. That's not going to be helpful to what we have going, what the fans that we want to see. We want to see Super Bowls. We want to see playoff success. As a matter of fact, we don't even want to see a Super Bowl. We do, but we would rather see us at least get past the first and second round of the playoffs and try to get to an NFC championship so all these other fan bases can get off our backs. But back to what I was saying about the 2022 season where we lost to the 49ers. We got manhandled. The offense wasn't clicking. And it's always, with our team, it's always either the offense is clicking and the defense is not in the playoffs, or the defense is clicking in the playoffs and the offense is not. There's never no both sides are clicking. And that's why you see teams like the 49ers and the Chiefs make it to the Super Bowl. All the teams that make it to the Super Bowl is because their teams on offense and defense is clicking. And you don't see any mistakes. What I mean by mistakes is dumb penalties like going off sides or false starting, like unnecessary calls that we don't need. Like, that's lack of preparation. Mike McCarthy, I don't think he has his team right when it comes to the playoffs or even when it comes against good teams. Now I want to get into this last season, 2023. 12-5 again. You would think that we make noise, but like like Vegas sees it. We've seen this plenty of times, and it's just gonna happen again. Like it's like a recycling bin. You go 12-5, you do good in the regular season. Everybody's hyped up. The fans are hyped up. When we get to that playoffs, in the first round, we get bounced. I was actually at the Green Bay versus Cowboys game. When I walked in, it was like static. Like, I can't explain. Like, the crowd wasn't even into the game. This was before kickoff. The crowd wasn't even into the game, and the players didn't seem to be motivated. Something was off about that game. That's not an excuse. I'm just saying that this might be a coaching issue, a Mike McCarthy issue. Now we get into this game, and I see that Green Bay early is having success running the ball. I've seen this before when we lost to the Rams in the playoffs in 2018, the year the Rams went to the Super Bowl and lost to the Patriots. We got ran on. We couldn't stop the run. When you cannot stop the run in the playoffs, you will always, 100% of the time, you will always lose. Like it's 100% of the time you will lose if you cannot stop the run. Aaron Jones had his day. For some reason, he has our number. Now, we went into the season without a running back. Everybody wanted Tony Pollard. They wanted to get rid of Zeke. But then when it comes down to these third and shorts and fourth and shorts, we can't get it in the end zone or we can't get the first down. Why? Because we were missing a power back like Zeke. So now you had, at the end of the season, you had fans screaming, we want Zeke back, but y'all didn't appreciate him while he was here. The pass blocking that he brung and the hard running ability, he can tire the defense out. That was his job. Yes, he might get you 2 to 3 yards of carry, but when it comes to being a power back and getting you to that end zone, you don't have to depend on Dak Prescott scrambling out there and running in for a touchdown. Tony Pollard was a smaller back. He could barely even get you those yards that you needed, which is the crunch time yards. But back to what I was saying, Dan Quinn's defensive game plan was off. Like I said, he ran dime again. The whole game he ran dime. He didn't make any adjustments. It was like man coverage. And then he would send blitzes. But since when you go dime, you have Marquise Bell, who's a 215-pound linebacker, something you don't see. And we're just going to run at him the whole game. We're going to run at him and Micah Parsons because for whatever reason, Micah Parsons, he's not a good run defender. Yes, he goes out there and gets sacks, but when it comes to stopping the run, I think he's missing his gaps, or they're either double teaming him. And you can either run his way, and he plays on the right side of the line. When we were running down, Marquise Bell was on the left side, so they were having success on both ways. You don't want to too much running to DeMarcus Lawrence's side because he is a good run stopper. And our defensive tackles, they're mediocre. Like, we got Myjai Smith in the first round last year, and he just hasn't lived up to it. They made him drop 50 pounds for what? When he's supposed to be they wanted him to be a three technique defensive lineman. But we just need one technique defensive lineman. Somebody that can go out there and stop the run, clog the holes. But now this year that we have Mike Zimmer, he's more of a 3-4-4-3 guy. Like, you're gonna always see 3 or 4 linebackers on the field at all times. Not smaller linebackers, the big husky ones. And that's what we was missing in that Green Bay game. Offensively, still, we couldn't get nothing going on offense. And when you have superstar receivers like CeeDee Lamb, you have to get them the ball early. Why are we not getting him the ball early? Like I said, the game plan was off, and no adjustments were made on the offensive side or the defense. Yes, we came back, or Dak Prescott had better numbers in the second half, but we were already getting blew out by then. Dak Prescott threw a pick six, so he didn't help the defense out. So, and the defense didn't help him out because every chance that Green Bay got, they went out there and scored, or they either stopped us on our offense. And I think that's lack of preparation. We're not hitting the notes that we're supposed to be hitting. And if we have another season next year where we start off slow, I'd give it 4 games. If we go in 4 games and we're like a 1-3, if we're not 3-1 next year, I think Mike McCarthy they'll be having talks about him being fired. Even if we go 500, which is 2-2. But Vegas does have us winning 14 of the 17 games. I don't know how, and we didn't do nothing in the offseason. But as we go on with these talks, we will talk about that later, or getting close to the season, about the games that I have us winning and losing. Now we're going to fast forward to CeeDee Lamb's contract. Now, when you're doing these contract negotiations, you do not wait to the last minute to give players a contract. That's when they get the most money out of you. You could have easily got CeeDee Lamb at $26-27 million a year, and now we're talking about $32 million. I remember when starting quarterbacks for some of these NFL teams was making $30 to $32 million, bro. Like, now we're talking about skill players making $30+ million a year. And you did this to yourself, Joneses. When you do these contract talks, y'all know y'all want to keep CeeDee Lamb. Why are y'all waiting till the last minute to see what the market is going to be like? Y'all have a clue of what the market is going to be like. A.J. Brown just got you, I think, 31 or 32 or 30, one of those. Jalen Waddle, who's a number 2 receiver, got you over $30 million. Like, a number 2 receiver. So what do you think CeeDee Lamb is going to get? And let's not mention him putting on that number 88 is something in itself. Like, you cannot get rid of the number 88. He has to be a Cowboy forever. And for him to put on that 88 and have the best season that we've ever seen from a number 88, he should get all the money that he's asking for. He doesn't even want to be the highest paid receiver. Justin Jefferson is the highest paid. He just probably wants $2 million less short to him. You have to pay that man. And that's why you should have never waited till the last minute to pay him. Now he's sitting out a training camp. He's not going to build. He has chemistry with the team, but I'm pretty sure Mike McCarthy has more of his game plan he wants to install, and he needs his number 1 receiver. We have to get CeeDee Lamb the ball early. We know this already. Of course, it's going to be another pass-happy season because we don't have a running back. Yes, you bring Zeke back, but he's not. I don't think he's a starting running back for the NFL. He can get you those hard yards, as I stated earlier. But as far as going to go break you for 40 and 50-yard touchdowns, I don't see that happening. Yes, he's good for the pass blocking. We got Rico Dowdle, but he's unproven. But back to CeeDee Lamb's contract. He's a top-notch receiver. I think he'll be number 1 in the league again this year. His route running is crisp. He comes in day in and day out. He goes to work. He doesn't complain too much. So when I hear about he's wanting to request a trade if he doesn't get what he wants, he has all rights to do so. Joneses, I'm letting you know now, if you let CeeDee Lamb walk out of this building, there's going to be so many fans that's going to turn on you. It's just not going to be pretty. Like, you got to extend CeeDee Lamb. You have to give him what he wants. Like, you have to. It's a must. Now we're going to get into the Dak Prescott contract. Coming off a second in voting when it comes to MVP. He just had the best season of his life last year with the newly installed offense of Mike McCarthy, who took over last year. I like what I seen from him. He said he wasn't going to throw no more than 10 interceptions. And when he was playing in Kellen Moore's offense, he didn't struggle, but I think it was just too much going on. Sometimes you got to keep stuff basic and simple, like we did with this year with Mike McCarthy. I do commend Mike McCarthy for what he did for Dak Prescott this year. But once again, he's coming off $40 million a year. Daniel Jones makes $40 million a year. Dak Prescott is clearly way better than Daniel Jones. Trevor Lawrence is getting 50 plus million a year. We know Dak Prescott is way better than Trevor Lawrence. So does Dak Prescott have the right to act for 60 million, be the highest paid quarterback? Yes, he does. But unfortunately, when you get paid 60 million, the Joneses can't go get the players that we need. Now we're talking. Let me do some math for y'all real quick. If they pay Dak Prescott 60 million, they pay CeeDee Lamb 32 million. I'm gonna just say 30 million. That's 90 right there. Then next year you got Michael Parsons' contract. They've already picked a 5th-year option up, so that means that you have to extend. If you want to keep Michael Parsons, you have to extend him, and he's going to be the highest paid defensive player that we've ever seen. I'm thinking he's going to get 30 plus million also. So I'm just going to say 60 million for Dak Prescott, 30 million for CeeDee Lamb. That's 90 million right there, and 30 million for Michael Parsons. That's 120 million accounted for your cap space in 1 year, 1 season. 120 million on 3 players. If you do this, it would destroy our roster. I don't think you can pay these 3 players 120 million. And it doesn't seem like anybody's helping. Dak Prescott says he doesn't want to be the highest paid quarterback. Okay, sure, but you still want to be in those 50 millions. You don't want to stay at 40 million. But if you did want to help your team out, you would take the 45 to 50 million and not strive for 60. You're 2-5 in the playoffs. Granted, your defense is bad in all those games. You were bad in some of those games. Like I said, when the offense is clicking, the defense isn't. When the defense is clicking, the offense isn't. So when it comes to these postseason games, yes, you're a good end-season quarterback. You just got second at MVP. You made Pro Bowls. I mean, you have what it takes to get to that next level. But if you want 60 million, you got to play like a $60 million quarterback. Patrick Mahomes, he doesn't even make 60. He's actually doing his team a favor. He's taking the bare minimum of what they're giving him, and they can always go get pieces. You know, they just got rid of Tyreek Hill, and they still made the Super Bowl. So at the end of the day, your quarterback is your most important player. If you don't pay Dak Prescott, I can see him and Mike McCarthy leaving and going to the New York Giants. I'm calling it now. If Dak Prescott and Mike McCarthy get fired because Brian Dable, he will be fired after this year. I can see the Giants picking up Mike McCarthy and see Dak Prescott, who does have success together from what we've seen in this last year. I can see them going to the Giants, getting what they want. And unfortunately, you'll be forced to start Trey Lance. We don't go out here and we don't draft quarterbacks. If we do, we go take them in the 4th round. We haven't got a first-round quarterback since Troy Aikman. Yes, they got us to a Super Bowl, but since then, you've been searching for quarterbacks. Luckily, Tony Romo fell in your lap. Dak Prescott fell in your lap. Now, I don't think that's ever going to happen. These quarterbacks are just not going to keep falling in your laps. Like, Dak Prescott's not supposed to be a starter. If Tony Romo didn't get hurt, we wouldn't know what Dak Prescott had until Tony Romo retires, and we probably would have got another quarterback then. So these quarterbacks are not going to keep falling in your laps. The quarterback is the most important player on the field. So y'all just need to sit down and talk. Y'all need to discuss what needs to happen, what changes need to be made. Dak Prescott needs to have a voice over there in that office because it doesn't seem like he has any. Y'all got CeeDee Lamb. We're going to even add Michael Parsons to it. We're going to add Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott. These are guys on their last year of their contracts. Like, at this point, they have nothing to go out here and play for besides another team because y'all act like y'all don't want to pay these guys. So you have to pay these guys. Not saying that we'll be successful or make noise in the playoffs this year, but you got to pay these guys. And we just got to go on from there. Like, people got to step up. Of course, we're drafting and developing. That's the road that y'all want to take on. So far, it has not working. Yes, it got us to 12-5 seasons. Yes, we got Pro Bowls out of it. But we have no playoff success. So those are just 3 things that I want to discuss with y'all today. Like I said, as we get rolling through the season, we're going to be covering the games before the games and after them. I'm going to be covering not just only the Cowboys, but I'm going to be covering other teams and giving y'all the best content that we can get, man. We appreciate y'all. Make sure that y'all like and subscribe and just keep tuning into the channel, man. We appreciate y'all.